Welcome to another production of Source Selection Soundbites. These productions foster learning, insight, and the ability to perform. Today's topic is an overview of the past performance evaluation factor. This soundbite will cover the definition and history of how past performance was used in source selections prior to the 1990s and the new mission of the past performance evaluation factor after streamlining legislation was passed. In addition, this soundbite will address the evaluation structure of the past performance evaluation factor when conducting a comparative assessment. Past performance is information regarding the contractor performance on active and physically complete contracts. Historically, before the passage of the Federal Acquisition Streamlining Act in 1994, past performance was primarily considered in responsibility determinations because agencies must determine a vendor responsible based on a satisfactory record of performance. However, a few agencies used the past performance factor in comparative assessments as early as the 1960s, but it was not a common occurrence. In the years following the enactment of the Competition and Contracting Act, Congress and many in the system began to recognize that the system was burdened with too many regulations and dictates. It seemed that the acquisition system and its personnel executing source selections were more interested in following rules than being responsive to the needs of the customer. This is where past performance came into focus. Congress, the executive branch, and industry experts realized that past performance used as a qualitative evaluation factor will provide significant benefits to government procurement via its ability to provide a high level of assurance of the contractor's ability to perform, while requiring a fraction of the effort normally expended to reach an informed best value decision. This methodology was practiced by some agencies, but Congress and the executive branch sought to expand and elevate the past performance factor's use by making it the principal non-price evaluation factor in government procurement. Congress passed the Federal Acquisition Streamlining Act, FASA, of 1994. Among other things, its goals would make the use of the past performance evaluation factor in comparative assessments common, and simplify the acquisition process to make it more responsive to customers. Specifically, FASA required the government, 1. To collect and maintain accurate and relevant contractor performance data for source selection decision-making. 2. Encourage streamlining of the acquisition process by 3. Using past performance information in lieu of voluminous technical and management plans. Since FASA requires the collection and maintenance of past performance information, this meant the creation of a database to house and manage the information. The official government database is a Contractor Performance Assessment Reporting System, or CPARS. It records distinct aspects of vendor performance such as overall quality, meeting the schedule, cost control and management of key personnel, small business contracting, regulatory compliance, and other things for which a CEO would like to issue a comment. Even though the official source of past performance information is CPARS, many agencies collect information via past performance questionnaires. A past performance questionnaire is a custom form designed to collect the precise, up-to-date information the agency wishes to assess from vendor customers. The reason that past performance was so encouraged in the new legislation is that the government and its consultants thought that past performance could be used to make effective source selection decisions in lieu of technical and management plans, because many facets of technical and management plans tie back to a vendor's past performance. The facets tie back to things such as understanding of the requirement, staffing plan, and innovative techniques, management plan, phase and plan, key personnel, and risk management. They muse that a vendor's capability can be seen in the past performance information and demonstrates their ability to perform on like requirements. This new approach to acquisition made sense because FASA represented a shift from non-commercial to commercial buying and the government's preference for commercial items. With that shift, they wanted to mimic how consumers purchased in the commercial market. Consumers typically identify a product or service that has the desired characteristics. That is, they establish the relevance of the item or service as it relates to the thing they want to purchase. Then, they gather information on the quality of the product or service via sources such as consumer reports, the Better Business Bureau, or popular websites that compile customer reviews. In short, they examine the relevance of the item or service, the quality of the item, and the price. Intuitively, the consumer knows that if the vendor has performed very well for a sustained period of time, that the companies know how to devise effective technical approaches and management plans to successfully execute projects. This streamlining initiative clearly was aimed at FAR 15 negotiated procurements because it is the most arduous and lengthy acquisition method. Lawmakers were counting on past performance to unburden the system by requiring the use of past performance in FAR 15 negotiated procurements. To the degree that it reduced the amount of evaluation factors, it would accomplish this goal. Think about this. Why is FAR 15 the only FAR part that requires the use of past performance unless the CO cites a reason for not doing so? Why does it have the most detailed instructions for using past performance? These requirements were not meant to further burden the system. They were meant to unburden it by scrapping time-consuming technical and management plans. FASA and OFPP guidance was incorporated into the FAR via FAC 90-26 on March 26, 1995. The legislative history provides clear evidence that the evaluation of past performance was meant to streamline the acquisition process, not add to it, but instead of using it to streamline procurements as Congress intended, the acquisition culture frequently just added the past performance evaluation factor to their evaluation schemes. Now, let's discuss the primary approach used to evaluate past performance when it is used in a comparative assessment. The agency evaluates each past performance reference to determine how relevant it is to the products or services the agency seeks, and the quality of the product or service. Relevancy is generally assessed based on the recency and similarity to current requirements. Recency of the past performance measures how up-to-date the reference is. That may be a very important consideration, especially when dealing with information technology products and services that have a fast pace of change. Recency is usually couched as a number of years from the closing date of the solicitation. The similarity of performance is usually measured in terms of the magnitude of the requirement, the task performed, and the context of the references, such as the complexity and the environment where the reference was executed. The next part of the evaluation is the evaluation of quality. Quality assesses how well the vendor has satisfied requirements and its customers in general. Quality also considers performance trends and the source of the information. Once the agency has evaluated the relevance and quality of all references, the agency considers the meaning of the references in the aggregate and assigns an overall confidence rating. The confidence rating expresses the agency's level of trust in the vendor's ability to deliver on their promises or otherwise successfully perform agency requirements. To wrap things up, let's review what we discussed. We discussed the definition and history of past performance, the new mission for past performance after FASA was passed, and the way in which past performance is assessed when it is used as a comparative factor. Thank you for watching another episode of Source Selection Soundbites. For additional information, check out some of the other videos in this series, other Productivity Partners materials, or our Source Selection Answer app that is available on the Google Play Store and Apple Store. In any event, thanks for watching and see you next time.